Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cozy Chair. I am so glad that you are all here today. Are you having a good day? I hope so. I hope you're having a double thumbs up, awesome, spectacular day. But you know, on those days when you don't, and you're not having a good day, actually, it's kind of a horrible, terrible day. Sometimes it's horrible, terrible, no good, very bad. It's that bad? Well, have you ever heard about Alexander? He does have a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And that is the story I'm going to tell you about today. Now, I hope that today is not horrible, no good, very bad, and terrible, but that it's a good day. But when you are having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, I hope that you'll come back and listen to this book. Now, this book is by Judith Viorst and illustrated by Ray Cruz. But here's what's really awesome is I found this book. It's a special edition. Do you know why? Because before I got this book, everything was all in black and white. And this time, in this edition, Alexander is in color. Isn't that cool? Okay, so this book is published by Anthem Books for young readers. And when I was a kid, I loved this book. I loved to read this book when I was having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day because it made me feel like I'm not the only one. Sometimes we have bad days. So let's see what happens to Alexander in his terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on a skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running. And I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. I love Alexander because he thinks that if he goes to Australia, everything will be better. So let's find out if it does. In the car, Miss Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm going to be car sick. No one even answered. Oh, poor Alexander, look at him being smashed into that car. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Mrs. Dixon liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend and that Albert Moyle was his next best friend and I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream part falls off the cone part and lands, you guessed it, in Australia. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of Jelly Roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Don't you just feel so sad for him right now? I'm just feeling pretty sad for him. That's what it was, because after school my mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said. I'm going to Australia. Poor Alexander. He's just having a rough one. On the way downstairs, the elevator closed on my foot. And while we were waiting for my mom to get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy. And then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And while I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, I told everybody. No one even answered. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes, but the shoe man said, we're all sold out. They made me buy plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copy machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on my desk, and I was careful as could be, except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with his phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said, please don't pick him up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. This poor dad, look at him. He's got papers coming out of the copy machine, and the ink has spilled, and the phone's off the hook, and look, even the plant is broken in the corner. Maybe Alexander is not the only one having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate limas. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. My bath was too hot, I got soap in my eyes, my marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. Poor guy. He just had it. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not with me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says some days are like that. Even in Australia. What do you think about that? Do you think people still have a bad day even if they're in Australia? I think so. Well, what I hope is that next time you have a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, you come and you listen to this book and you realize that tomorrow, it won't be terrible and horrible anymore. And everybody has a day like that every now and then, but then things get better. So thanks so much for coming and listening here on the Cozy Chair, and I hope that you give it a big thumbs up. Down below, hit the like button and share it with your friends, and come back next time. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.